Oh, anyone on the radio yet? Oh, take that as a no.
City only.
Well, we'll see what happens trying to live stream Channel 12 here in the mobile, just for something different to try. A little bit of a glare on the screen there. Good morning to who that is that showed up in the channel. Waiting to see if anyone gets on this morning. Might have someone here in a couple minutes, or at least maybe 2 other people if we're lucky. Trying something different, or just trying to see how it works. Hawkeye, you around this morning? Cobra, Screwdriver, anyone around? I'm stuck behind the school bus this morning. Well, I picked a hell of a morning to try this. There's usually more people around by now.
Not a true story.
Yep. Been pretty quiet on here this morning.
Yeah, what the hell?
And no Hawkeye, no Cobra. I don't even think the sandbaggers are on.
See? I knew it.
Did somebody make a comment? I was in some noise.
Well, you can tell your radio's cold. It's a little crackly. Yeah, might have been fixing it. I couldn't quite tell, but yeah. It was definitely a sandbagger check-in.
Did you say my radio's crackly?
Sounds it to me. It could be the receive on this. I don't know. I just turned it on, so something's a little wonky, but we'll give it about a minute and see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you sound fine on this end, but alright. Copy that.
I like it when it's still above 20 degrees at night. It'll be amazing.
Yeah, we're getting there for sure. It's funny, you get up and it's 20 degrees or whatever. It feels like you're like, oh yeah, it's warm out. It really isn't, but when it's below 10, it's a vast improvement.
It's funny how you take for granted how warm it is or cold or whatever, and you get that like the 2 days. Oh man, we had 2 days in the negatives, and now we're all like, oh well, yeah, it's 20. And this week it's going to be warm and warmer at night. The next week it'll probably get colder again, and I'm going to be like, screw this, it's only 20.
Yeah, seesaw weather conditions that we've been having as of lately. It kind of causes problems, like you get ice dams on your roof. Like, if it's gonna be cold, just be cold for Christ's sakes, This friggin', it's cold, then it's warm, it's cold, then it's warm, whatever. But yeah, it was funny. I was just wearing a vest the other day instead of like my heavier coat, and I'm like, oh, it's like 30 degrees. That's warm.
Oh, I love it. Maine weather is amazing. I love the seasons, I really do. And, come fall, it starts getting cold out, and you'll see everybody, oh man, it got down to 50 degrees. Everybody's in flannels and sweatshirts and bundling up. Come springtime, it's 50 degrees. You'll see chicks walking around in frickin' bikinis.
Yep. Oh, something I was gonna tell you, but I don't remember. That's all right.
Yes, sir. I gotta try a different external speaker in here. Maybe that's what I gotta do. The crackly all went away, so it didn't take long on my end for it to warm up, but I think I still gotta try something that's a little louder. I mean, this thing's loud, but it's just gotta, I don't know. I gotta try something different, I think.
I find powered speakers, I can't explain it, but a powered speaker just gives it more punch rather than a non-powered speaker, or whatever you want to call it. You know, especially in the mobile, it just, I don't know, I can't explain it. Maybe it's in my head, but it just gives it a little bit more punch that I feel like even at a lower volume, it seems to make it louder in general, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, you're not maxing out the audio off amping your radio to drive it, so you're not like, you know, you get a radio above halfway, I'm about halfway. You start getting distortion. That's not necessarily because of the speaker, it's just because of, you know, the off amp and the radio. And yeah, no, I completely agree. Even at lower volumes, it's like it'll almost, even just a cheap one, doesn't even have to be an expensive one, a cheap, you know, powered speaker, it does seem like it'll almost, you know, the static level's just low enough going in, it amplifies it but very little, but then you get a little bit more signal from a voice that amplifies it more, and it kind of, yeah, it almost pulls it out of that noise level more. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it does help. I know one vehicle I had, I was actually able to mount the speaker into the ceiling. It was a small speaker, but it was kind of above the rear view mirror. And that made a big difference because most of us, you know, we put the speaker on the floor. So you're trying to, you know, shine, you know what I mean, but point the speaker up at you. And by putting it up in the ceiling, and it wasn't in the way, like it was pretty flush. So it wasn't like you weren't hitting your head on it. But boy, when you were going down the road, having that speaker up by your head, that made a big difference too. But you can't always do that in every vehicle.
Yeah, I thought about trying to mount a couple little like dome tweeters, but I didn't know if they have the range enough to be. I have these little pod like dome, I don't know if I call them tweeters, they said they were speakers. They're actually meant for a CB, external speakers. Like these 1 inch or 2 inch little round pods, whatever the hell they were. And, but I was going to do the same thing, and the sound was just horrible out of them. You know, I mean, I'm not going to lie, a Bluetooth headphone would probably be my fucking best bet.
You know, it's funny you say that. This speaker that I'm running in my truck, it actually has a headphone output on it. And I thought about when I go to camp, you know, a lot of times, like, you know, it's a long drive. My wife might take a nap. My daughter might, you know, she might put on music and listen on headphones. Sometimes I'm just sitting, which is fine by me, and I'll play on the radio. And I said, you know, I bet I could plug one of those little Bluetooth transmitters into the headphone jack and then hook my Bluetooth headphones while I'm driving down the road. And I mean, I wouldn't put both in, but just stick one in my ear while I'm driving down the road talking on the radio. I thought about just trying it.
Oh, it works amazing. I've done it before. You know, headphones, I usually don't miss half of conversations. I don't know, my hearing is freaking horrible as I get older. It's getting worse, but, you know, misspent youth, what a firearms, you know, whatever. But, yeah, a little pod in makes a big difference on what I can hear and pull out and not be, like, really trying to focus. Yeah, I always just, for some reason, it's always my left one. I don't know why, but I always end up putting my left ear, and my right ear is free to hear whatever. I still got the stereo on a little bit. I can hear that, you know. It's, like right now, I'm like, oh, frig, I'll turn the stereo up a little bit to hear something. And then I'm like, I turn the radio up louder. and then the stereo goes up loud, and the radio goes up louder. You know, I don't turn it back down. It's just the way it seems to freaking go. Next thing I know, everything's wide open. 31
Yeah.
Augusta tonight.
I have a nice set of headphones at home that if I'm gonna like work DX, like actually sit down and be like, all right, I'll put the headphones on. They're a good set of cans, you know, over the ear type cans. If I'm sitting in front of the, like, if I, you know, when I'm actually like, okay, we're doing this, and I got the notebook out so I can write things down, and it's actual, you know, quote unquote battle conditions, the headphones make a huge difference. I totally get that.
Yeah, I got some Bluetooth ones and a little dongle. Yeah, I don't know what they are. They're not like, you know, Dre Beats or anything, but yeah, whatever. Same thing. They go over your whole ear, and yeah, I'll plug them in. I used to plug them in sometimes on sideband night when 101 and his buddies would be in there, and people I could really not hear, but you know how you just kind of hear them in the static, but you can't pull them out. You put your ear as close to the speaker as you want, and it's still like, yeah. But yeah, you throw headphones on, and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, I can actually distinguish what they're saying out of that static.
Yep. Yeah, I don't. Are mine? Are they Audio Technica? They're like recording headphones, but when I bought them, I've had them for so long now, I truthfully don't know. But when I bought them, it was a corded headphone, you know, 1/4-inch plug. They sold the replacement parts, so you could buy a new cord if something happened. The padding on the earmuffs, if they started to get crappy, you could buy replacement parts. I actually spent not a crazy amount. They were kind of entry level, what I'd call entry level pro grade headphones. But the selling point when I had bought them is that you could buy replacement parts if you damaged them. But I've had them for quite a while, so I'd say I got my money's worth out of them. Like at this point, if something happened to them, I'd almost be like, I'll just buy a new set. You know, things improve, technology gets better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the only problem I had with mine, and I'm sure I probably get used to it, but like, I get fucking hot. Like my ears get hot. Like I'll start getting like sweaty around the pads and shit, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm just sitting here listening to the radio and.
There, that helps the glare.
But they weren't great.
Just
like
turn the camera a little
my
bit.
wife got them. Like I'll use them in the yard when I'm on lawn, not to listen to the CB, but to listen to music. You know, like they're noise canceling and they block out a lot of the noise, and then you get your tunes, you know, from your phone or whatever, and they work amazing when mowing the lawn.
Oh yeah, I have a set of those Bose noise canceling earbuds. That's crazy. Like when you put those on, it's like you're in a soundproof room. First time I put them on, I thought something was wrong. Like I'm like, what? And I had to take them out. I'm like, what the hell? And yeah, my wife won them or something at work, or I don't know how she got them, but she just gave them to me. She's like, hey, I have a set. You want these? And I was like, sure. Started using them, and I'm like, oh, I see what all the buzz is about these things. Because people swear, like, if you fly a lot, like on planes, I guess they're just awesome. Like, it cancels out everything. And I'm like, yeah, I could see how people could like these.
I know SIG got 6 hour, and some other place, Access, I think, whatever. They make these now. They're buds. They're not over the ears, but the buds. And they're noise canceling to the point where they're using them to go to the shooting range. So they noise cancel enough to go to the shooting range. And you can play music through them. And they have a sound enhancement. So you can cancel the noises, the loud noise that'll cancel everything out, but it will amplify people speaking, I think, 5 or 6 times. So I can pick up somebody speaking across the room that I normally couldn't hear with these things, like 6 times the loudness, but yet it's still going to cancel out any loud noise, shooting guns, you know, that kind of stuff, and you can still Bluetooth in your music, you know, and I haven't bought a pair because they're fairly pricey, 100, 150 bucks, something like that, but I think I got to buy a pair and try them out. I think it'd be perfect at work.
Huh. I think I saw an ad for those. I have a set of active ears. You know, they're the full over the ear, but you can talk. Like if you're out shooting, you can talk like we're talking in a normal voice. But there's a company which I thought this was kind of cool, and it's radio related. So there's a company now that like my active ears has a plug-in. Like if you want to feed music into them. Well, there's a company now that sells a little boom mic and a little Velcro disc, and you Velcro the boom mic onto the active ears, and it has a Y cable. So you take like your two-way radio, whatever it is, a Bofang or Randy Bobandy, and it splits it out. The mic piece goes into the boom, and then you plug in the other piece into the input of your active ears, and you essentially have hearing protection with active ears and two-way radio communications. And the only reason why I thought that was kind of cool was I was like, oh, if you were like I was like, if you were bombing around on a boat or something and across the lake, you could like talk to each other like through the radio, like an intercom, kind of like helicopter pilot shit. It wasn't expensive too. The cable wasn't a lot of money, and I was like, I almost just want to buy that just to play with it because it's cheap enough to try.
Yeah, I was wanting to try something like that on my bike, but I have a hard time keeping anything in my ears when I'm on my bike, and I don't know the wind whipping by for a mic. I don't know how it works. If I wore my full helmet, it'd be great, but I always wanted to try something like that.
Yeah, these were neat because they advertised that they worked with my active ears, and I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, I don't think I'd have a lot of use for it, but it basically turned your active ears into a two-way communication thing, and it's like it was like nothing to do the modification. They're like, yeah, just stick this Velcro disc to one of the ear domes, and plug this in. I was like, I remember a long time ago, I had a diesel 3/4 ton Suburban, and it had the low gears in it. It had straight dual pipes. Thing was loud as fuck, and we hauled my buddy's boat up to his camp one summer, and going down the interstate, you couldn't listen to the radio, you couldn't talk to each other. I remember he made a joke. He goes, we need those headphones like helicopter pilots use, because that's how friggin' loud. And I remember thinking that would be perfect for that kind of application. Yeah, this was a beater of a truck. It was a monster of a truck. It was kind of fun having it, but I sold it at a time when I needed the cash, and someone offered me a lot of money for it.
Oh, I know what you mean. I had a Dodge. It was just a 3/4 ton, but gas. But I put a glass back on it. Oh, it sounded amazing. People hated it when I plowed, but it sounded amazing. I tell you, going down the road at like 55, it had this unbelievable harmonic that would just, it would freaking kill you inside of it. I hated it. You couldn't even hear yourself think.
Yeah, that's how this Suburban was. I had a winch on the thing, and it had the big tires, and it was a mean truck. It was the kind of truck where you just drive through someone's house and you'd be like, yeah, it didn't hurt it. But it had the lockers on it. It was a pretty cool little truck, but I got rid of it. Anyways, well, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna get going, and I was hoping more people would show up, but it just didn't happen today. So maybe another day. You have yourself a good day. I'll talk to you later. Radio Man out.
Hey, have a good one, man. We'll catch you later.
Yeah, thanks for everyone to stop by or who hung out, just tried something different. We'll shut down the stream. Thank you.